Hi everyone, and we are here for the Online British Championships round 2. And there's a lot of good games in prospect today. For example, Mickey Adams against Harry Grieve, Chris Duncan against Brandon Clark, and Checkmate a Lot against Keith Arkle.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and Paul Dargan against Mark Hebden, and also
very good one.
The Bogdan Lalic against Dymonaut could be a fun one. Dymonaut was doing extremely well last year's British. And Arjun Kalani against Yichinhan. And Gunslinger 222 against Johnny Payne. And Freddie Gordon against Ollie Stubbs, and plenty of other good matches. Okay, I think they haven't started quite yet, but they've
another minute to go.
1 minute's time. Yeah. So what are your predictions for the round, Matthew?
Give me what's the first board again? Mickey against?
It is Mickey Adams against Harry Grieve.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh,
yeah.
Nice one. But yeah, Mickey as white's a bit tough. If Harry was white, you feel better chances, but Mickey with white. Actually, I'm very intrigued to see what Mickey plays. Is it going to be one of his E4s, or because he played a fianchetto against his opponent's London system yesterday, which is very unusual for Mickey. So I'm wondering, is Mickey? Mickey maybe? Well, I'm going to guess. Mickey's going to play a Catalan today.
Okay, and I was thinking King's Indian Attack based on that.
Ooh, okay.
But he normally just plays E4.
We'll
Actually,
see.
just to be different, I will just go for E4.
Okay, fair enough.
He does play E4, doesn't he? That's his. That's his normal move, and just
that's Mickey's main move. Yeah, but I'm just wondering. I think during the lockdown, Mickey's been busy and he's been preparing new openings. That's what I'm claiming. So
I'm sure he has. Yeah.
So
hi. Sorry.
What's the board 2, Natasha?
Board 2, Chris Duncan, Brandon Clark, Matthew.
Okay, well, we saw Brandon playing the Birds opening non-stop.
He's gone D4. You could be right. Mickey.
I know my Mickey. Well, not really, right? But no, I just had the feeling that are we looking from the black side there?
Yes, we are, because when I tried to follow Mickey, it said I was unable to. So we have to.
Okay.
I can.
No worries.
I was able to. Maybe Harry Grieve logged on slightly before Mickey did. That's my theory.
You can probably swap the board around. You swap the board around if you like.
Is it that one?
With the next? No, with the wheel. With the wheel.
This one here.
The wheel next to the board. No. Next to the board.
That wheel.
Next time, yeah. And then no. The wheel next to the board, cancel. Just cancel that. Cancel that. So the wheel next, just patient, just hover over it. Hover over the wheel.
This one here.
Next to the board. Yeah, and then you get something there, you see. And then you just choose the third option. There's extra icons of it. Clipboard. Yeah, there we are. There we are. So 593. Okay, so it was a Catalan from Mickey. Yay! But Harry did it in a slightly unusual way. So he played 2 E6, and then Mickey went G3, and now he's gone B5 to stop C4.
Harry did a B5, didn't he? His white one game.
This is well known. This plan. So G3 B5. Maybe play through the opening moves, Natasha. Just see how it all went. So D4, D5, knight F3, 6. So G3. So this wait a minute. This G3 is quite subtle, really, because if C4 black could play D takes C4 and maybe a quick B5. So white sort of delays playing C4, and then if black just develops normally, then you're going to get black to transpose into a Catalan, but without having been able to play all the sharp lines with DC, A6, B5, or knight C6. So this B5 was actually played by Joël Lautier. I think it's one of the first, just trying to stop C4 and just to develop the queen side. So trying to exploit the fact that white hasn't played C4 early. So it's quite well known now. There's quite a lot of theory on it. Bishop B7. castles, knight f6, a4, b4, c4, c5, knight d2. So quite a tense position, but I think this is quite well known now. So we're going to see what is Harry Grieve. How's Harry Grieve going to develop? I mean, knight bd7 followed by bishop e7 is very natural. I don't think you'd normally put the knight on c6 because that blocks the bishop on b7, and I think that can get slightly awkward because probably the most sensitive piece on the square on the board is c5. So probably you'd want to have the knight on d7 in this position then to deal with it.
Couldn't black just take on c4, take on d4, and then manage to get the exchange of those light squared bishops?
Yeah, I think you just end up worse. I think after dc, I take with the knight. C takes d4, I probably take with the queen. Queen takes d4, knight d4, bishop g2, king g2, and I think you've got quite severe problems on the queen side. I think I'm coming in with knight b5, bishop f4. I can attack d6. I think it's quite severe. I mean, you couldn't actually go. I mean, you have to stay back with the queen on d4 because knight d4 would be bishop g2 and queen d5 check, picking up the knight on c4.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, cd queen d4 is just I think it's just better for white. Should be, I think.
All right, they're going to have a think. So let's have a look at Chris Duncan again.
Let's have a look. It's going to be a mainline Mar del Plata. Is Chris Duncan going to go d5?
Right. A minute. So if we go back to the start.
Yeah, so 7 moves of theory, and Chris Duncan just deciding whether to go for a Mar del Plata with d5. It's more or less the only option, really, if you want anything.
He hasn't, though. He's taken.
D takes d5.
Yes.
This is an even more tedious exchange. I mean, normally, if you're going to play the exchange King's Indian, you take on e5 on the 7th move. And then you don't normally do it here, but yeah, I mean, this is of course not so.
Do you remember Colin Crouch? I had a game with Colin Crouch in this. I was black.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Mark's had this, I don't know how many times, 50 times, 60 times. These sort of exchange things. I mean, in principle, yeah, you know, if white's well prepared, it's a slight edge. But in practice, white often goes wrong and then just ends up, pardon me, a little bit worse because there's a weakness on d4. So yeah, got to see. I mean, if Chris has prepared this, you know, quite thoroughly, then it can be a dangerous surprise weapon. But yeah, got to be careful because I mean, basically, you know, white's got a big hole on d4 and black's got a pawn on c6 that can come to defend the d5 square. So if you don't, you've got a little initiative as white because you've got a bit more time and an extra tempo. But if you don't get it right, then you just end up a lot worse. So got to watch out for that.
Okay, let's see. Checkmate a lot against Keith Alcoll.
Okay, Nimzo Indian. Yeah, d5. Yeah, against this knight e2 system is very tempting. 5 knight e2. I think every single Nimzo player has looked at it, but somehow against this line with d5, it never. Or for my feeling, it never really seems to go anywhere, you know. So it's there's all sorts of things you can do here. You can go knight g3, you can go knight f4, or you can do what Peter did and take on d5.
Yeah, I mean, Peter's getting Keith's regular structure against Keith.
Indeed. It's a slightly strange piece.
Psychological play there from checkmate.
Yeah. I mean, g3 is quite normal instead of knight f4 and then bishop g2, you know, and you play like that. I've looked at these positions a lot because I really wanted to be able to play them, but in the end, I just Didn't like them as white. So bishop d3, knight a6 is quite cheeky, giving black the opportunity to white the opportunity rather to play bishop takes a6, which would not be completely silly.
He won't, though. He won't, I'm sure.
Because I mean, you get the c5 square, but white players tend not to do it. You know, they seem to, especially if you've gone a3. I think if you haven't gone a3, then you know, then you might play b3. You feel a bit more comfortable. But the weakness on b3 also puts off white players. So castles and then knight c7, and yeah, I mean, black can play to exchange off the knight with knight e6, for example. And the general plan always seems to happen is that black, you know, plays quite solidly, and then when white goes f3, which is quite a normal move to prepare either e4 or g4, then
Hi, Mark. Hi. How are you doing? Yeah, R.I.P. Colin Crouch. Yeah, he was, because he used to play a lot, like all in the. I played him loads of times actually. In that sort of, he was from Harrow, and played a lot in these Golders Green. But the game I played him in that line was Hastings one. Do you remember Hastings tournament?
absolutely.
Yeah, and this was the year. Fillets Hall, I think, was when I played him. Because there were some years it was on the pier and some years in the Fillets Hall. Anyway, let's see. Nut flush. So that's Paul Dargan against Mark Hebden.
So this must be
the two knights. Excellent. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
He didn't go for the crazy knight.
This is so well known now. Quite intrigued as to know what Mark's got here, really, because this is so well known and so analyzed basically that there's not much.
So what's the main line? Is this bishop d5?
Yeah. This is all knight c3, queen h5, knight e4, bishop e6, bishop g5 to stop the king from casting. Takes. I mean, I would imagine that Paul knows all of this because he's only got one. He hasn't taken any time here.
Yeah.
But now it's got so Mark's gone queen d5, keeping his extra pawn. Paul went c4 very quickly. Can't obviously d takes c3 is impossible because of queen d5. So queen c4, bishop d6, and queen d5. Yeah, Mark's also played this quite quickly. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. This doesn't feel particularly good for white, I have to say. But I'm wondering a little bit what the point is really. Bishop e5, okay. Okay, but interesting. I mean, obviously, if I go knight e5, then rook e5, and I think we're really getting to an equal position very, very quickly. But I imagine that you could think of gambling with castles here.
So short castles for black.
Long castles.
Long castles for black.
Long castles, yeah. Short castles. I don't know. Bishop takes d4 looks pretty equal, really. So if you want to make something happen, then long castles maybe. I mean, it looks
a bit brave to me because that king's cut up, like so that white has this
brave. I mean, it's definitely a
question. And the king can't really go.
Yeah, it's definitely a question of who you're making things happen for. I mean, that is, I definitely agree with that. But
kind of on ratings, white might be happy with just a draw.
Well, definitely. I mean, I think I get the feeling that white's just playing quite a solid line here and seeing how far is Mark ready to go. I mean, just thinking about it, actually, you could maybe play d3 rather than castle queenside. Could that be an idea?
D3.
Just try not completely to commit to casting queenside, so that if it looks too horrible, you can always go the other way. But I mean, bishop g7 is quite interesting now. Rook g8 and then bishop f6, just stopping queenside castling. And if rook g6, then bishop h4. I mean, we could go king f8 here, you know, and but I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I mean, these are the sort of lines that really, actually, this is the sort of lines that normally you analyze at home, because, you know, you sort of say, okay, if white wants to try and make a draw, he could try and exchange off all the pieces. But with some good analysis, I can play something risky and get away with it. You know, that's the sort of thing I spent many hours at home, you know, trying to make, you know, lines like this work for black. But
so I guess this Hebs is having a think just to see which style of game he wants and how ambitious he wants to be.
Well, I mean, there's really only two choices. There's kind of agreeing a draw really and playing riskily, I think, because knight e5, rook e5, or castles, bishop takes d4 is just really, you know, it's just not going to it's not gonna happen really. Because I think even after castles you might play. I know you can't do that. You can't do that. But I think after castles, bishop takes d4. I mean, it's really looking very even. I don't think, you know.
After castle short, yeah.
I wouldn't feel at all happy about, you know, trying to make something of that. So, yeah, castles. Yeah, castles queenside. I mean, that is kind of possible, and we'll see how white reacts. I mean, I suppose the one thing you're kind of worried about is that white might just not take the pawn on g7, but might just castle queenside. It might go queen a4 or something.
Yeah.
Or rook c1. But okay, I mean, you know, again, it's something, if you've calculated it, then and if you've analyzed it at home with a computer, then you can get away and play it, you know, because you know that it's risky, but it's fine. But
all right,
I mean, you could play,
let's see. Tactic Monster against Peshka the Great. It's another Italian game. Let's see what they've done.
This is the quiet Italian.
Yeah.
Would a sailor from Carlo Vivari be a Czech Matelot? Indeed.
Mate a lot. He's doing my plan.
He's doing your plan, indeed. The plan we played at the London Classic closing dinner against an array of stars.
It worked. It was great.
It worked.
The position wasn't good at all stages, but it did work.
It was a bit fraught, but we got there in the end.
Yeah. So the plan we're referring to here is this plan with black playing knight g8 and f5.
Indeed.
We'll see if that all happens.
There's an AlphaZero game where AlphaZero puts its knight on h6 to tempt bishop takes h6. Yes,
I was actually just playing through that just now. And it was quite a nice attack to play for black. It was kind of.
It certainly was. So h3, bishop h5, bishop e3. I'm not sure. Arjen is super booked up. I think looking at his openings, he's more for the you know, quiet style, get a decent opening, and then just play. I think. So this is fine, but I think there's many more crucial ways of playing for white in these positions. You know, normally with knight d5 early, you know, that sort of thing. This is okay for white, but black's got no problems. I mean, black's developed quite nicely here.
The trouble is, if we do our plan with knight g8 and f5, then white can just take on f5 and fork.
That is always the risk. Always the risk, indeed. Which is why somehow I'm not sure we ever completed our plan.
I don't think we managed the plan.
No, we didn't manage the plan. I mean, what sort of things could black do? I mean, it's just that the irritating thing for black, just in general perspective, is that if you move that knight on f6, which is quite natural, you know, maybe knight d7, for example, to go knight c5 to e6, then white can play knight d5 and threaten to get the bishop pair. But you know, how dangerous is not having the bishop pair? Probably not that dangerous. So I think I'd probably knight d7 would be probably my natural reaction in this position. And after knight d5, go knight c5 and round to e6. Maybe that could be an idea.
Let's do that. So knight d7, knight d5.
And knight c5 was what I was thinking of.
Oh, that way round, yeah.
Am I happy with that? I'm coming into e6. I'm not sure whether I'm happy with that. I mean, I just, White can play C3 and B4, for example, or
you could just go B4 on its own, couldn't you?
Could go B4. I mean, you'll go back to E6. I mean, you're going there anyway, so I think you have to go C3 at some stage just to stop knight D4.
Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, if you want to, I mean, White could also, Black could also just play, instead of this slightly elaborate knight maneuver, Black could also try knight D4.
Yeah.
Because the idea is that you can get you can play pawn C6 afterwards. You move the knight from C6 and play. And I mean, what is White going to do to you?
Because this is pretty good, right? We're threatening to take on F3.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, I suppose G4 is the question. Well, knight takes G4 would be ideal if we could do it.
Well, we can try it because it's Peshka the Great's knight.
Indeed. So, no, that would probably work, I think. Takes. I mean, you take on D4. And I'd love to play at F5 immediately, actually, in that position.
Immediately? But like...
Yeah, rather than take back.
Really? Here?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you might just go... Well, yeah, the point is that after E takes F5, I want to go... yeah, I mean, Rook takes F5, you've got Bishop D5. You're sort of hanging on there. No, then I've got E takes D4, which is rather unpleasant because you're multiple pinned and I'm attacking the bishop on D5. So this could be quite awkward. This could be quite awkward in actual fact.
So all right. So wait. So we got to there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have to take on F5. I can just move this bishop.
You certainly can.
Let's say drop it back and try and be a piece up. Oh, you're just going to take on F3. All right. That's not going to work. Yeah.
Tricky.
Yeah, could be.
I mean, what I was thinking about was G4, knight G4, and then knight takes D4.
So
on move 12, 13 rather. So knight takes D4 here.
Knight takes D4.
But then I think I've got knight takes E3.
Yeah.
Queen takes H5, and well, I mean, E takes D4 even is possible actually. But I was thinking of knight takes C4. But then you go knight F5. Well, you don't go knight F5 because I've got G6 then. But what I was a bit worried about was that you do something like knight F3. And unfortunately, my knight seems to be trapped because after knight B2, you'll just go rook A2. So that's a little bit sad. But I can take simply on D4. I can go E takes D4 instead of knight takes C4. So I go E takes D4. You go F takes C3 because my knight's not trapped anymore. I'm going to take on C2. So I go D takes C3. And I guess you take on... You could go bishop takes F7, in all fairness.
Yeah.
But I can play C takes B2 then, which I'm a little bit... I'm not sure. I mean, rook B1, bishop H4, for example.
Can we go there?
Yeah, I'll go H6. I'm a bit worried about that because you're opening the F file for me. So...
oh, I was trying to open it for me.
Yeah, no, this is true. But I'm threatening BA. So, I mean, you go rook B1, I go bishop H4, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mess, isn't it, really?
It is. I suppose we could close it with that.
Yeah, I'll take on E1 then.
Oh, and you're going to have to do queen G5 check support queens if I try and mate you. Yeah.
I mean, knight D4. Knight D4 might actually be just very reasonable. Just to.
Yeah. It's the sort of thing you do, isn't it?
Yeah, and then bishop D4, ED. I mean, you can go knight D5, but I'll take it simply and go C6. And black should be fine in this position, really. I would have thought.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's not. It's not advantage or clear or anything, but it should be all right for black.
All right. Let's see what they did. Ah.
Queen D7. That's
Queen D7.
another good possibility. Actually, just G4. We're still going to go knight takes G4 because we'll take
Yeah.
the queen. G4.
That's definitely lining up for a second G4, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So that's actually probably a better move than what we're looking at. It's just keeping the position and basically putting the onus on black to find a good idea. I mean, knight d5 maybe is vaguely tempting. Just straight away, and then knight takes. I take back with a bishop, and I'm covering the f3 square, and then I can play g4 after maybe.
Yeah.
So,
all right, gunslinger 3.
The Shirov.
So the battle of the Jonathans. Jonathan Blackburn against Jonathan Payne.
It's a slightly strange choice from Jonathan Payne, actually, but probably he's not booked up at all. Johnny Payne. He's not E3. Okay, strange, interesting. C6, unusual way of transposing to a Moran. Queen C2, Bishop D6, and G4.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is the Shirov line. I mean, it's very well known. There's all sorts of. I mean, I can't remember the theory very well now, but DC and B5, is quite common. DC, Bishop C4, B5, and then Bishop B7 after. Knight takes G4 is the line that a lot of people played, but
looks like Johnny was expecting it. Just he didn't spend that much time on it.
Well, still 3 minutes, I suppose. Yeah, Rook G1. And now Queen F6 is a slightly unusual move. I don't think it's supposed to be super for black, this one. I think we take on G4, take on G7, and then depending when you go back to G2. So
let's see. So we take on G4, we take here.
Then Rook G7. Pardon me.
And we can't castle if we're black.
Well, no. That would be a toughie to achieve. I don't know. I mean, you can go knight f8 or knight f6. Just trying to remember what the lines are here. Knight f8 is interesting because you're threatening knight g6, trapping the rook. So I think you go rook g2. I think is the line they were playing. And then I'm trying to remember.
Bishop d7.
Yeah, I think so. Bishop d2. Castles looks a bit wrong somehow. Maybe do we really play on the rook back to g2? I'm not sure. I'm not sure anymore. But this is all really well known. I mean, it's really it's really. But it's old theory. I don't, as far as I know, I don't think black players are playing this way at the moment. So, yeah, I don't see 100% a way to get the king to get the white king castled. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see. So that's
they
have done this much.
Yeah, so rook g7 will be played. Then I think knight f8, and then I thought it was rook g2, but it doesn't really look right. Maybe it's rook g1 first, and then if you take on h2, maybe I go rook g2. But there was a lot of theory on this. It's all Shirov stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it was rook g1, bishop h2, bishop e2. Maybe. Not sure.
Let's see Frederick the Mate against Oliver Stubbs.
All right.
So a French defense.
Oh, pardon me.
Frederick the Mate's doing a quiet system against the French.
Well, yeah, this is quite well known, this system. But yeah, I think it's been recommended in a few books actually as well. But I don't know. I think you can. There's so many good, promising ways to play against the French. Really, you sort of feel playing a because the point is, if this is not so well known, then you've got a chance of getting an advantage. But if black knows it well, then actually white. I always feel white's in danger of getting worse. So okay, so e5, knight ft7, d4, c5. I mean, bishop g5 is quite an interesting line that was. Now I can't remember in which book it was suggested, but it came up a while back, and it's actually quite an interesting line. D takes c5 is the old way of playing. Bishop f4. Yeah, and knight takes c5, very unusual. Normally you take with the bishop on c5 and then play a quick f6. And you know, and I think John Watson in his French books, he's dedicated an awful lot of time to this. But knight c5 is a bit unusual. In principle, less good, really. You know, because you want to fight for the e5 square, really. You know, and you want the knight. You know, the bishop's very good on c5, pointing to f2. And now you end up with the knight pointing at a bit the wrong square, and also you end up with the bishop on e7 as well. So a3, I don't know whether, okay, not sure whether that was absolutely necessary, but bishop e2. Short castles. And f5. My Bologan impression. Yeah, okay, so it takes on f6 is a normal way you play it. Bishop f6, this is, yeah, looks quite reasonable for black, actually, what this knight c5 plan. I don't know whether there's anything specific against it normally, but this is looking quite all right. A decent French for black.
Yeah, I would think black might think about taking that.
Yeah, but I think then you take on d3. I think White's idea is simply that the pawns on e6 and d5 have to be restricted. So if you take on d3, then I queen d3, and then you know the pawn on d5 has to remain protected by the pawn on e6. So you're managing to get that blockade. I mean, basically, you want to get White wants to get pieces on first of all on e5 and then afterwards on d4.
Yeah. So Freddie's doing a bit of a control strategy.
Indeed, indeed, and I think he's
down those pawns.
He's not doing it. He's not doing it badly at all here. So queen e7 was played. Rook e1, queen f7. That's quite typical. Quite decent. Queen d2, and now black sort of decided, well, since you play queen d2, I'll take on d3, and then if you take back with a queen, taking back with a pawn is not silly either, because you're going to play d4 afterwards and really get a grip of those dark squares. That would have been my first thought, you know, just to take.
Carry on with this control strategy and keep the pawns where they are.
What Freddie did was absolutely sensible as well. He took with the queen, bishop d7 and rook d1. So, yeah, rook c8. The only question now is, you know, what does White do? You know, and that is maybe, you know, when you take on d3 with a pawn, the next few moves are very obvious. d4 followed by knight e5. Here you've still got to sort out your stuff, really. But for example, bishop d6 here would be an idea. And then if you go rook e8, then I go knight e5. You know, that would be quite a sensible idea.
Yeah, because now there's not the problem on f2 if you just
exactly, yeah. And knight e5, I go bishop e5, and I just claim I've got you know, I've got the dark squares. Or probably take with a knight, but yeah, I mean that's
take like that.
Yeah, like that. But then I'm just well, I'm not sure you take. You probably leave it like that. But it's I mean, maybe you go rook c4 or something, or you know, try and activate yourself that way. But we can try. You know, we can go e3. I mean, what you really need to do as a follow-up is to somehow get your knight away from c3, because it's on a half-open file and it's, you know, it's not good. It needs to be on d4 really.
Can't we? This might be crazy, but can't we take on f6?
Yeah, we take back with the g pawn then.
Yeah.
Because queen f6 allows knight d5. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does allow knight d5. Well, it does allow knight d5.
So takes with the g pawn, but that's fine. Is it? We don't mind our king.
Well, yeah, the king's a bit weak, but I've controlled e5, so you know, and in this position, my rook could swing over to g4 to give some protection, and then the bishop comes to c6, and we go e5. You know, I've got some.
Yeah. These pawns are moving, I suppose, aren't they? They can move.
Well, I've got a feeling of potential. Put it that way in my position, you know, and that makes me happy because whereas for White, it's not so clear what the plan is. You know, but yeah, okay. I think bishop d6, knight e5 is sensible, but black's, you know, sort of fine as well, really.
Okay, so let's see the next one, which is Reina Jithendra against Phil Brooks, and another French defense.
English Championship, and all we're getting is French defenses. So yeah, this is the d takes c5, queen takes c5. Is that normal? Queen takes c5.
It looks provocative to me.
Sorry.
It looks provocative. Queen takes d5.
Oh no, this is normal. This is all normal. But normally white plays knight gf3 here, and then c takes d4, bishop c4. You know, there's masses of analysis on these lines. Probably about equal dc. Just queen c5 is strange. I think you normally go knight f6 just to delay a little bit. But if I remember rightly. But knight gf3 anyway, knight f6. Bishop d3, knight b7, just get these typical positions. Tivyakov always swore by these as white. He said that the white had a nice edge, and Mickey plays them a lot as well. So bishop b7, knight c4. Knight c4 is a bit strange. Normally you play... well, you've got several plans, but you could b3, bishop b2 is quite common. Knight b3 is also not so silly, just to make sure that when a knight comes on c5, you can exchange it, because that's quite an irritating knight, getting rid of your bishop on d3. But knight c4 to e5 is achieving pretty much the same thing, so maybe that's actually just a decent way of doing it. Okay, rook d8, queen e2, and now knight c5. That's in this now. It's a bit risky with the knight on e5, but I'm guessing bishop c4 now.
Nothing yet.
Oh, nothing yet. Yeah.
Or bishop f4 we could at some point, couldn't we?
Yeah. I mean, maybe white's wondering about going knight g5 here.
He's done the bishop f4.
Okay.
Sorry, is that he or she? It could be she.
Interesting. Little surprised by that one, I have to say. Because if I go knight takes d3 here, what are you going to do? Are you going to go c takes d3, or are you going to
c takes? Yeah.
Or are you going to go? You're not going to go knight takes. I mean, that's not really.
Let's see.
Really anything at all. So
knight takes.
Yeah.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. It's quite committal, you know. I mean, you had a lovely structure and a queenside majority, and now you've got now you're you've really weakened your pawns quite badly. So I'm
going to try and hit your pieces.
Well, I mean, that's all good. If I go knight d5,
knight d5. I suppose we have to drop back.
All right. And now I go bishop d6. And then queen e7.
Okay. So maybe that. And try and pretend your pawn on e6 is weak.
Okay, f6.
There.
Yeah, bishop f4 maybe. And then bishop c7 also maybe. Not sure.
Yeah, so I'd have to move this rook.
Yeah. I know, yeah, bishop d7 or something, or I don't know, quite like black really already, to be honest. It's just a big commitment to take on with CD. If and I don't see a clear win, you know, and then just makes me a bit nervous. This sort of thing.
The alternative is knight takes.
Yeah, but that's yeah. I mean, bishop d6 or something. You know, it's not. I don't think it's going to be a serious attempt for an advantage that way. I think he could have just gone bishop c4 instead of bishop f4, you know, and just sidestep the attack, and then That would have been possible. I mean, if you wanted to play this, if you wanted to allow knight takes d3, then you wanted a crazy thing. Then knight g5 was kind of vaguely possible.
Oh, here.
Yeah,
f7.
Just attack f7, But I mean, probably black can just take on d3, cd, rook f8. But I go bishop f4, and yeah, I might have something. Not very sure about it, but I think knight d5 again is going to be strong.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're going to have any real ideas there. So yeah, I think bishop c4 was quite sensible, because you get those knight g5 ideas in reserve as well, and with your bishop on c4, you're pointing on the a2 f7 diagonal. But white's got knight takes d3, queen a5.
Yeah. Okay.
I think black's very solid here. You probably play bishop d7 to e8. Keep everything nice and protected, and you've got the two bishops. Keith would be in his element.
Yeah.
Here.
And as I say, Phil Brooks likes his end game, so a nice solid game will be nice. I think he would like that. Okay, let's check back in on Mickey.
So we'd
done all this stuff, and so c4, c5.
Ooh.
I'm going to just flip the board round again, because we were looking at it from the other side before. Here we go. e4. Got a pawn sack from Mickey.
It's a very dangerous one, I think. And I think probably theory, in actual fact. Oh, wait a minute. Is e4 a novelty?
I don't know. Let's see. You can...
I think e4 is a novelty, actually. Or let me just check it in my correspondence database, because that's quite interesting. Because bishop takes d5 has been played before, but over the board, I'm not seeing e4. So... No, I've seen in correspondence. I've seen rook e1 played twice, but e4 I think is I think a novelty.
Nice one, Mickey.
Let's see what the engine says about it.
Okay.
Yes, there we are. It's Stockfish's first line there. So. With a big advantage for white, so a huge advantage. Yeah, so Mickey's still.
He might have found that at the board, though, because he had a good think on move 9.
Indeed, very just. Or did he on move 9? 5 minutes. Yes, indeed. So, but yeah, this is never been played before. Looks like, but. Looks very strong indeed. Well, looks good for white anyway. So
hi, Wilsonia. How are you doing?
Mickey's Wilsonia.
Yes.
So yeah, we take rook e1, bishop d5, and now this annoying move d takes c5. So
bishop g5 he plays now. Very nice. So he's going to try and take advantage of this pin on the E line, because if this bishop takes, you've got this kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why you couldn't play bishop takes c5 before, because after d takes c5, because queen d5 is in there. Of course, if you castle, then I take on e7 and take on d5. That's the idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, white's got quite a nice initiative. It's not incredibly, it's not winning, but it's a pleasant pull. So I mean, nice.
Well, I mean, black is a bit loose, isn't it? Like if you can't castle.
Well, you've got to play knight f6 here.
Knight f6. Let's have a look. Right, I'm going to just flip it again. So knight f6.
Yeah, and then there's nothing really tactical on that. I think we go something like rook c1 maybe.
C1 and just keep it.
castles knight e5, something like that, you know, and yeah, you know, what can you say? It's going to be a slight edge for white. You know, that c pawn's quite dangerous. Light squares are a bit weak. You know, it's pleasant. You know, with white, what can you say? You know, if you've got a pleasant advantage, and just going to be up to black to defend.
Yeah. Okay, nice opening play from Mickey there. All right, and so Harry is having a good think about this one.
Yeah, he's quarter of an hour down already. So yeah, if he's surprised by this, of course, then it's quite an unpleasant little surprise. It's more sort of trying to to work out. Yeah, if I just play normal moves like knight f6 and castles, how much worse am I? Am I much worse? Do I need to do something earlier, or can I hope to survive this? And that's always a bit tricky.
Let's have a look at the game Whimsical Jam against Cute Puppy, which is already finished. Let's just whiz through that one. Oopsie. So Scotch.
Ooh, yeah, that's not. Ooh, black.
E5.
Yeah, probably a bit caught out by the Scotch, because this is not a good way of meeting it somehow. White's got huge amount of space here.
Check.
So yeah, this is.
Oh, I'm taking. Oh, this looks.
Yeah, no, this has gone very bad.
Yeah, so that's how it happened.
Very bad, very quickly. Yeah, that's right.
Another queen.
Yeah, and this is just easily winning. We don't need to. Yeah.
Okay, that'll do. And yeah, so that's how that one happened. Okay. Drunken Knight against Brandon Clark.
Yeah, so this was slightly unusual d takes e5 variation. So you normally play d on the 7th move. Here, bishop g5. Probably black was a little bit caught by surprise. I wouldn't amaze me, because it's rather unusual to face this so early. But king h7 played, bishop b6, b3, rook fd8, h3. So pretty even, really. The one thing black's got going for him is the d4 square, which might be useful later, and also the pressure against e4, which means that knight d5 from white is often met by knight takes e4. So yeah, I mean those two things sort of give black some ideas for what to do. But it's not easy for black to find some moves that don't lead to immediate liquidation, actually. So
yeah. Pretty drawish, I'd have thought, this line.
Yeah, no, this is very solid indeed. So yeah, you've got some work to. I mean, ideally, yeah. What do you really want to do? These are the. This is the thing about practical chess. You don't get your mainline openings. You don't get your sharp stuff.
Hi, Decoder.
Hey, Decoder. You get this sort of stuff, and then you've got to try and find a way through it, you know, to keep playing the position, you know, and that's not always easy.
It's a pretty good choice, isn't it, for Chris Duncan? Because Brandon's been playing so well throughout the week in all the rapids and blitz and bullet and all this stuff.
Yeah, no, it's a sensible choice. You know, I mean, make the higher rated player work and try and set something up that that doesn't, especially because Brandon's an attacking player. You know, he likes. Yeah,
you wouldn't do this against Keith. You'd do it, yeah.
No, Keith would look so happy, you know. It's you know, with this sort of position. I mean, I think maybe black could look at going knight e8 here, which just to it protects c7.
Oh, so he's done it. The moment you said it, he did it.
Ah, okay. So if you go knight, if you know, when you go knight d5, I'm protecting c7, which is quite nice. If knight d5 now, I could consider f5, for example, or I could even consider knight d4. That's also possible, because if you take everything on d4, I win a piece with c6 at the end. So yeah, this is a natural move, maybe threatening f5. I mean, what will white do? White might play, well, I mean, knight d4 is coming in, which is a bit irritating. So that's something I've got to think about. You know, how am I going to deal with that? Which is a good question, in fact. How am I going to deal with that? I mean, something like knight a4 is maybe not so stupid here. Is that a move?
Okay. Looks a
Knight
little bit
a4.
strange to me, but okay. Knight a4, and then you just o2.
Well, I mean, you're going to just absorb this. So after knight d4, you might well play. You might even just take on d4 with the bishop, maybe, and go knight c5, something like this. And if bishop c8, you might just go e5. Not 100% sure about it, but just to yeah. I mean, somehow you've got to absorb this this knight d4 threat. So that's possible, maybe. Other idea for white. I mean, knight d5 is possible, but I think we can still go knight d4 after with black. And I'm not 100% sure. Then knight d5, I go knight d4. If you take everything, then I've got c6 winning a piece at the end. So not 100% sure. So I can't do that. So
Yeah.
then you're thinking, you know, well, what am I going to do? Because, you know, black's going to go c6 and just chase away the knight from d5. Maybe I should just play something sensible like I could play something sensible after knight e8, just like king f1 or bishop f1. You go knight d4. You just go knight d4 anyway, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I think black's doing quite nicely, really. You know, it's what I said, really. I mean, you know, just this black's got the square on d4, and white doesn't have an equivalent square on d5, so quite easy just to be better with black.
Okay.
So maybe king f1. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. So that was these ones. They're going to have a think. We'll look at Checkmate a Lot and Keith Arkle.
Yeah. So knights have been exchanged. What we were expecting, really. And then
where did we see it? Castles.
No, knight c7. We saw it.
Knight c7.
So b4 played to stop black from playing c5. Yeah, knight e6 takes. Bishop d2, queen d7, all very logical. Bishop f5 to exchange off light square bishops. Keith's just gradually whittling the pieces away. Rook fd8 stops white from playing e4 for now. Yeah, bishop e1, knight e8, bishop g3, interesting. And now Keith is going for for the queenside structure, which is actually a little bit weak for white here. So rook d1, a5. Probably black's a bit better here already, I think. And there's always this possibility of going knight d6 to c4 as well. So, but e4 was played, so this is quite going to get a bit sharp now. But Keith's rook da8 looks pretty good, actually.
Attacking that pawn on a3 with a third piece.
Yeah, I mean, if you go e takes d5, I might just reply not with c takes d5 when I'm wondering about rook b1, but I might just play b4 straight away.
Yeah, because that can't be taken, so we have to move knight.
Well, I don't have to. I go
d6.
Yeah, queen takes c6. And then maybe you go knight e4. And then I go, I'm not sure, maybe rook a3 first. I'm not quite. Yeah, rook a3 first, I think. Rook a3 first. B takes a3.
That pawn looks dangerous.
Yeah, and the problem is you've got d5, d6. So maybe there's a big chance here that the that everything will just get exchanged. That the D pawn will compensate for the A pawn. Yeah, that's probably true. This is probably too much. So probably if after E takes D5, probably Keith is going to take back on D5 with the C pawn. Because I don't think there's anything else. Okay, but then White can play maybe Rook AB1 here, and the idea is Rook takes A3 is met by Queen takes B5, which is yeah, decent for I mean just equal.
Liquidates.
Yeah, and then Rook somewhere. I'm not sure. Rook A5 maybe, but. Well, Rook A2, there's Knight C3, but Rook A5. Yeah, I mean it's just equal, really. I mean that's the thing. So I don't know whether yeah, I'm wondering whether Rook D8 was the best there, unless Black's got something better. Unless Keith's seen after E takes D5, whether Keith's seen something better. I mean, Rook A3 is quite simple and actually maybe not so stupid.
Try taking again.
And
we've got a pin.
Yeah. This is...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. B4.
B4.
That looks quite nasty.
Yeah, we'd have to go up here.
Possible. Yeah, even there you're sort of escaping, but it feels risky somehow. You know, I don't know. I got a bad feeling about White playing Rook AC1 really, but I mean I could go Rook A3. That's the oh no, I can't. Yeah, sorry, that's wrong. I was going to say Rook A3, Queen B5, but then I've got Rook takes C3. Which is the correct way to capture back. Boom, boom, boom. I could go Queen E4 as well, hitting. Because after Queen C3, I go Rook takes A3. Oh, you got Queen A3.
Can't you just take your Queen?
I go Knight E. Oh, you're right. You're right. Sorry, I'm completely hallucinating. Oh, sorry. I mean, Rook takes A3, Rook A3, Queen E4. That was the line I thought of. Sorry. Possible too. I mean, my D5 pawn is quite fast if it gets going, so I would have thought that would be equal as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think that Black that is just looking quite even, really. You know, I don't really see what Keith can do to avoid the liquidation into a really equal position, but we'll see. Maybe Keith's got something up his sleeve.
I keep having to moderate this chat because our audience are using words that aren't rude at all. So could Black capture on A3 with the bishop? So that would be instead of Rook takes, I guess. Ugh. So if we go here. Yeah. A3 with the bishop. Instead of that. I think it's this one, bishop here.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I can just I'll just take that again. I guess
Take on C6.
Yeah, And I don't know. I suppose even d5 works, because bishop c5, I just get out of the way. Let's go king f1 or something.
Okay. And
well, I'm going to get in d6 very quickly, so it's going to be quite. Queen b6. I go rook takes a5, and then I go d6 afterwards. So, yeah. I mean, I think why it's. I think it's just equal. I think the position. I don't think it's anything special.
Okay, that's that.
Yeah, that's happened. Actually, checkmate lots played rook b1. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Nut Flush and Mark Hebden. So this one, we were thinking, how can? Oh, he's gone kingside in the end. How can? Where did we get to? Somewhere around there.
No. Bishop e5 we saw last.
Which is here.
So castles, bishop d4 happened.
We weren't expecting castles though. Castles king.
No, it's true. But I'd miss what Mark was going to do. So takes, and he can actually grab the pawn on a2 here. So takes, and bishop takes a2.
Okay.
But yeah, he's a little bit passive. So rook d7 played, b6, rook c7, bishop d5, knight g5, knight d8, rook e7, bishop c6, rook c7, bishop e8. So Mark's curled up into a ball there, but he's going to emerge, and he's going to have. Yeah, I mean, I think Black probably would have done better to do maybe knight e5 or knight d4 at some stage, just to maybe try and exchange off those knights rather than keep them, because knight e6 is coming in, and then h6, then knight e6, and then probably the rook has to leave its square somehow. So the only interesting thing that would be if white goes rook e7 again here.
Okay. So rook here.
So
if the, so suppose the knight could move or the bishop.
Yeah, knight c6, we go rook c7, and we're threatening rook f7 again. So not 100% sure about that. Yeah, no, not 100% sure.
Knight takes. Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite sure. Don't know whether you're emerging from that. So so after rook e7.
Here.
Rook e7, yeah. Maybe we need to put the bishop somewhere else, like b5.
Let's see. So bishop b5. We want our knight over on d6, don't we, instead?
Yeah, we could play knight e4. Yeah, it remains just very difficult to get free from this. You know, I mean, it's yeah, quite tricky. I don't know. I mean, yeah, if Mark manages to to unravel like this, then I mean, obviously Black's got, in principle, Black's not going to lose this. It's just White trying to make the draw, but it's going to be very difficult to emerge from here. Especially if White manages to play a move like f3 or something and get his king safe, then all the black tricks are gone, and you've just got to deal with this activity. So with opposite color bishops as well. So yeah, I don't know. It's White's gone rook e7 again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay, let's check back in on Tactic Monster and Peshka the Great.
Oh, good lord.
So we were talking about a knight coming into d4, and he went bishop queen d7. Knight d5.
Yeah, I wonder, did Peshka miss something here? Because he played knight takes d5, and then e takes d5 happened. And you can't go knight d8 or anything because knight takes e5 is dangerous.
Yeah, because the queen's loose, isn't it?
Yeah, so that was maybe.
So you have to go knight d4. No,
Sorry?
knight d4.
We'll probably take on e5 anyway, I think.
Yeah.
Or, well, that's not 100% clear because knight d4, knight e5, you could go de, queen h5, and then I've got knight c2 afterwards. That would be possible. Knight d4 feels risky. Knight d4. Suppose you could take with a bishop on d4 and then go g4 and win a pawn. Is that an idea? Or you could go knight e5 simply and then take the light square bishop. I think this was probably a mixture of also feeling from black of I don't want to let all the pieces get exchanged and just end up in a dead position where I've got no chances at all. So black took on f3 anyway.
Black took. Thanks.
Queen f3 and knight d8. And yeah, b4. You do wonder about
That's the plan.
you do wonder about b4 in this position actually for white because might have been interesting. Feels like a plan somehow.
Which one? d4 did you say?
d4. Well, I guess black goes f5 and just claims that everything is after f5 you'll just take back on e5 and then bring the knight round to f7. So yeah. Just, so b4 played, f5, rook eb1. Wow.
Okay, so white is relocating to the queen side, and black to the king side. So this could get very exciting. So
black ignoring it. Yeah, bishop d2, getting out of the way of f4 and knight g5, c6. Quite an interesting game this. I don't like these rooks on b1 and a1 really. Not when black's sort of teeing up there.
Yeah.
And I think actually this bishop f3 and knight d8 it seems to have worked out very well for black actually. Because bishop f6, rook a2, and now rook a8, and not easy for white here. We're threatening
because what's white trying to do? Double on the rook on a2.
Well, he was getting out of the way of e4. Really, that was the idea.
Yeah.
This rook's going to be very badly. I mean, you might have really considered c3, or something like that. Just because the rook on a2 is going to be awful now. So. Yeah, I mean, I think things are going black's way here. Actually, I think probably this this whole knight bishop f3 and knight d8 maneuver was actually quite good. So I mean, I would play rook e1 if I was white here, probably just to try and exert a little bit more control. But
so rook e1 trying to get control.
Yeah, not rock troll, but control. So a brother, I think, of rock troll. Yeah, now we've got to find something with for black. That rook on a2, it makes everything feel so tempting, really. But it's still not. It's not easy. I mean, e4, knight e5. Those sort of ideas feel.
Yeah, e4 is really tempting, but you can just take it, can't you?
Yeah, this is kind of the problem.
And there isn't, I was looking at these forks on g5, but the bishop just covers it, so you can't.
Yeah, knight e5 and fe and
knight e5 straight away.
Yeah, you could try it. Feels a bit speculative somehow.
Could you even take here?
Yeah, you could even take there.
You're just giving up two.
Yeah, interesting. Rook e1. I mean, I feel like black should sort of have something quite nice here, but it's not obvious at all. I mean, g5, g4, you know, also feels like a plan, but then the f6 bishop will be loose. But maybe we've just got to play, you know, sort of a bit slowly, and maybe play g6, bishop g7, get ourselves organized, and then e4 will be a lot more dangerous with a rook opposite the queen. You know, maybe just g6. Got to watch out though. I mean, White's got random ideas like bishop a4, for example, which I don't feel should ever really work, but it is actually a little bit irritating. I mean, you'll be forced to defend the c6 pawn and go something like rook c8. So I mean, what I'd really want, if in my dream scenario, is to have something where I can meet bishop a4 with e4. You know, that would be the absolute dream scenario. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to organize that really. I could go bishop g5 maybe.
Bishop.
Oh, pardon me. The only thing we've got to watch out a little bit for d takes c6 and bishop f7.
Yeah, I was looking at knight g5, but then I suppose we get into opposite bishops.
Yeah, but why not? I mean, we can claim that the bishop on b3 is poor. So let's try knight g5. That's maybe a better suggestion.
Knight g5. So I'm kind of assuming you're going to take. Would you take?
Yeah, okay. But now we've got our little threat of e4. Who knows how dangerous that is? But I've also got a threat of bishop d2. You know, that's also quite nice.
All right. So what about your idea of takes and then bishop a4? Then we can meet that with d5, can't we?
Yeah, bishop a4 straight away would be more the idea.
Okay, bishop a4.
But now I can play e4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe bishop a4 isn't the best.
Well, I know you can go d takes c4 and queen g4 there, you know, which is distressingly unclear, really.
Attacking the queen, so.
But maybe things like takes on g4 and e3 start getting a bit dangerous. I don't know. Or maybe I go bishop d2 and then e3 after. Black's got an initiative here, so I think knight g5 is a good move. Actually, I think knight g5's a good way to.
Blue Grey Hayes is going for it. Blue Grey Hayes is after g5, g4. So this will be before this stuff, I guess. Here, so g5 here, Blue Grey Hayes. I think.
g5, yeah. I was wondering here about the problem is that g4 or e4, they both get. If you take on e4, then fe queen f6 checks. So I was wondering. Okay, so if I go bishop a4, let's try that one.
Let me think. Let me think too. That's you're the brother. You're let me think's Crispin, isn't it? Why g5 immediately is bad. Because you just cracked from f7 with the queen.
Yeah, I mean bishop a4 here is maybe interesting. Start stretching black a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure.
So,
you could go back to d8, I suppose, and I mean White's pieces are odd as well. You know, it's just bit of a shame putting the knight back on d8 to defend c6.
So here.
Could be. I mean, you're opening up the line of the rook a little bit on the queen, so you know you might have e4, g4, that sort of stuff.
What if you just went for it with g4 first?
Yeah, g4. I'll go knight h6, I suppose. That's what I was thinking. No, then I take on g4 simply.
Okay. Oh, this one's on.
Yeah.
So we can't do that.
Well, I mean, you can play bishop g5 after. I mean, it's all quite, you know, you could just go g4, h takes g4, and bishop g5. But then the threat against c6, I've got d takes c6. So, you know, I think it's probably quite awkward.
Yeah.
Not sure. I quite like knight g5, actually, I think.
Okay, so knight g5 there, we think.
That would be a decent move, I think.
Okay, let's see if Peshka has played a move.
No, still thinking.
Still thinking. Okay. All right. The Jonathans.
Whoa. Been a lot of sacrifices here.
So where were we up to?
10 rook g7. 10 rook g7.
10 rook g7. So we had a queen f3, yes, and this was this shear off line. Knight f6. And then I think you were saying rook g2 here?
Well, no, knight f8 was what I was looking at, to go knight g6 and trap.
Yeah.
And then, but here knight f6, the threat isn't there, so you don't need to. So h3. Yeah, okay, h3. Okay, h3 was played. Bishop d7, bishop g2, and e4. Quite violent.
Well, he is called Gunslinger.
Yeah, no, it's quite an interesting game. This is so d takes e4, and bishop g5. Not 100% clear this was a good move, but it's quite a fun move anyway. Bishop f8 takes on f6, takes, rook g8, and knight e4 is played to meet rook g7 with knight f6.
Yep.
But we do have a problem with the old bishops there. So queen a5 check. Now b4.
Ooh.
Takes, king f1, protecting the bishop on g2, rook g7, and rook b1. And now queen e7 played, and rook takes b7. So this is a Shirov variation of the semi-Slav, this g4, and White certainly playing it in the appropriate style.
Do you think they're still in theory?
Hmm.
They don't know the theory, I guess. Not this far.
I think we left theory many moves ago. Yeah, this is quite dangerous. The only problem, really, I mean, White's biggest irritation is that his own king is so weak. So you know, there would be threats like knight c5 normally, but you've always got intermediate moves like queen g5. So that's, you know, that makes stuff a little bit more complicated for White all the time. But I mean, yeah, I mean, a move like knight c5 is actually quite dangerous. I mean, if you were to go queen g5, then I could go bishop f3, and then just ask you to prove, you know, how you're actually getting at my king. And if you're not, then, well, the threat of taking on d7 and going bishop c6.
No, I was looking at rook d7 straight away, because you have to take back with the king.
Yeah.
And then knight c5, maybe.
Yeah. You could
well, our queen isn't quite in it enough, is it? But it could then go to e4.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite there's quite a lot of dangerous stuff here. I mean, e5 looks vaguely tempting for black here, with the idea of d takes e. Yeah, with the idea of rook g2 and bishop h3. I mean, that's the
so e5 here.
With the idea of going of playing rook g2 and bishop h3 check, and then, well, actually, but yeah, the problem with that is that
now what if we do this?
Yeah, well, it's possible, but it's actually not even a threat, crazily enough. So because there's knight d6 check at the end. So yeah, but let's have a look at rook b7. Let's have a look after rook b7, and we'll just try and find some decent ideas here. So and good castle queenside, actually. That's
castle.
No. I'm just saying it's legal. I'm not saying it's a good move. How would we want to do this? Well, I mean, f5 is maybe worth a look. Just before you start coming up with great ideas. So yeah, we've got your idea of rook d7. I mean, knight c5 is the obvious one. So then I go queen g5, and the idea is that rook takes d7. I've got queen g2 first, and then rook d7. But I was thinking just maybe bishop f3 here. And I was sort of wondering, what do I do here? Because I'm threatening rook takes d7 and bishop c6. So, there's kind of some threats in there. Queen f4, I've just got rook takes d7. Queen g1, king e2. Not so clear. Bishop c8, that's just bishop takes c6 check.
Looks all right for white, doesn't it?
Looks surprisingly good for white. So have a look at rook takes b7 again. Yeah, this v5 is not so good. Rook d8. King f8. Queen g5. It's a tough old puzzle. It's not particularly easy to find a good solution here. I mean, king f8, there's knight c5, followed by bishop takes c6 or something. I mean, it's really... I need a clever move, but what is it?
For black. Let me think. Come up with a clever move for black.
No, that's...
Hi, Ocelot.
Hey, Ocelot, how
are you playing the bullet match? How's it going? I hope you're doing well. If we, it depends when we finish. We will pop thereafter.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. Looking at the amount of games still going, it's going to be a couple.
I think that yes, maybe we'll be too late because I guess a bullet match isn't going to last. If your bullet match is 2 hours long, you're going to be exhausted. Yes. So for black, so the problem is this bishop on g2, so you have to play rook g2.
I mean, yeah. The one thing I like about e5 is that it does actually deal with the threat of. I mean, maybe. Oh, I just want all these. I want too much. I was wondering about going either c5 or e5, but because c5 the idea would be if you go knight takes c5, I go rook takes g2, king g2, bishop c6. But probably after c5, you just go d takes c5, and then you just get in. You just got this big extra threat of c6, really. But e5, maybe e5 is the best. I think.
Let's try e5.
So. Yeah, I mean, the idea simply is that knight c5 is no longer a big threat because I'm taking on g2, king g2. Yeah. Oh, no. It's not even a threat because knight c5 is defending the rook on b7.
Yeah.
Matthew. Although queen g5 check is a little bit irritating. It might be an idea still. We can try it. Knight c5. Well, actually, knight c5, I could just go queen g5 even, I think. That would be quite dangerous.
So what about bishop d7? Rook there.
You just won that, don't you, Natasha? So king
I
e8.
think that's the move. So again, king takes. Yeah. And then you might think we have a follow-up already.
Knight c5 check looks like a decent follow-up here.
King somewhere.
Yeah, just wondering whether if I went back round, obviously, ideally I'd go round e8 to f8, but then you're going to take my rook on a8. I'm just wondering whether I've got a good.
I was just going to take your pawn on c6.
Well, yeah, and then you take my rook on
And then
a8.
you take it all.
I've got e takes d4 afterwards, but is that a good follow-up? Let's have a look. King e8. I mean, that's the move I would play. So king d8 is also possible, but it feels a little bit. Yeah,
king f8, presumably. And then I suppose I take rook.
You take my rook, yeah. And I guess I'm going ed, probably.
Yeah. Now I need to do something sensible.
Yeah.
So, queen here.
Wow. That's certainly very sensible. I'm not sure. Rook g5. I got knight e6 check there. Haha. No, this is not anything for black. I don't think. I think you'll find decent ways of getting control here. So knight c5 check. Okay, after knight c5 check, I'll go king d8 then instead of king e8.
Knight c5 check. What did you say? King d8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's your threat? I want to put my queen somewhere.
Yeah, queen a4, quite interesting. I suppose, yeah. I suppose what I can do in those sorts I can maybe go something like rook g6 or something and cover myself that way. Because I mean, rook g2, you'll probably play queen c6 and claim that you're that you've got a few threats that way, which is not a bad claim. Well, maybe queen c6, I'd go rook b8, but I mean, rook g6 or rook g2, I think we could look at with white here.
To rook g6.
Then bishop c6, I go rook b8. Sort of not totally clear. Rook b1 check's going to be a bit of an irritating threat there. And queen a5, I go queen c7. So
yeah. So that one there. So what's your threat if I go the other way? Queen f5 again.
I suppose, what's your threat, Natasha? Actually, I suppose is the because I can if I go e takes d4, for example. Yeah, and I go rook g5 now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Feels like you're just a tiny bit on. Yeah, king c7, king c7 afterwards. Queen f4, king takes c6. I'm not sure. Feels like you're a little bit on the light side there for. Oh, I think Gunslinger has Gunslinger.
Okay, has he played?
Or
yeah.
Wait a minute, let's have a quick look. Oh yeah, we've had a few moves there. So
okay, let's see what's actually happened. So
F5,
we were at rook b7. He did
F5 was played. Knight c5, and then queen d6 was played. Not queen g5. And now knight takes d. Oh, knight takes d7. That is nasty. Ouch. Because after rook d7, we're playing c5.
Okay. And so if rook takes rook, we're just material up by taking the queen.
Yeah.
So say it's queen, then takes this pawn. Let's say
Bishop c6.
bishop c6. Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got to go rook d8. Oh, you could go castle queenside. That's the one. That's the one. That's what you need to do. Ah,
okay.
That's the move. That's the move.
Okay.
So, because I mean, you're threatening queen d1 now, so you basically got to go rook takes d7 there. So that's going to stop, and then I take, king takes. Ah, you're fine.
It's all a solid draw.
Well, probably black's a bit better here actually, because the king's coming to c6. So, yeah, probably black's a little bit better here.
Okay, so that's what he has to do. The amazing castle queenside saves the day.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, rook d8 would be possible as well, but then you're still in the pin, so that'll be a lot more awkward. But yeah, castle's queenside. That's what we need. Do you know in the TCC today, Stockfish against Leela played 59 castles.
Oh,
which
really?
is the in computer chess, it's or TCC anyway. It's the latest ever castle, and it's actually the latest ever seen, because it's the human record was on the 48th move.
Okay.
I saw on Tim Krabbe's page. So queen d1 check then.
Queen d1 check.
Maybe queen a1 check actually at the same time, but queen d1 is very strong.
Yeah, we have to. I suppose
you take and I take off. And
do we have to take? What if we go here?
Queen b3 or rook g8 check even. Rook g8 check, I think.
Rook g8 check. Oops, missed. Rook g8 check, and then we're gonna get mated. Okay.
Indeed.
Yes.
So yeah, I think castle queenside is the move.
That's the move. Okay, cool. Let's see Mickey, because we didn't see that for a little bit. Oh,
Mickey's much better here. But is it going to be enough?
right. Where were we up to? Can you remember which move we got to?
Move 14, black.
14, rook c8.
So, okay, so rook c8, interesting. So Mickey took on e7, takes, knight d4. This is probably all fours. Queen c5, bishop takes d5, takes, then knight e6, quite nice. Queen d1, knight g7 check, intermediate. King f8, rook d1. King g7, rook d7, rook c2, b3, and rook c3. So
Yeah, extra pawn and black's pawns are disconnected.
yeah, no, probably rook a7 wouldn't be the best, because rook b3, rook e7, rook f8. Probably the chances that you end up with rook and 3, double rook and 3 versus double rook and 2 on the king is quite high. But rook e3 looks quite rook e4. Rook e4. That's much better. Hitting the pawn on b4 and threatening rook g4 check to f4. That is probably very good. Still always going to be a bit messy. I was wondering about rook e3 actually. I was wondering whether that was probably wasn't very good actually. Yeah.
So okay, what if black goes, for argument's sake, rook b8?
I go rook g4 check.
Rook g4 check. King back there, I suppose, and then go here. And we can't.
Yeah, I mean, what I'd really prefer to do is to run with a king, really, and so go maybe rook takes b3, and then after rook, then I'm guessing rook g4.
You just turn it around again. All right, so rook takes b3.
Rook g4 check, king f6, rook f4 check, king e6. And then I don't really know anymore. maybe rook ff7. I don't know, or rook
This one.
gf7. Yeah, I'm not at all sure which one to do, to be honest. Maybe taking with the other one is better. We could maybe get the black king into trouble. Possible. I mean, yeah, you know what you're thinking about is just to go. Maybe I just go rook b8 and then just go rook b1 check b3 and throw everything onto my b pawn. You know, it's just
Yeah.
which is vaguely worrying, I suppose.
You got to try, haven't you? Yeah, I didn't see rook e4 or Senya either.
Don't know. This is pretty. I have no idea. I have no idea what's happening here. But I think this would be something like this. Feels like the most, you know, like the best way really to upset white. So maybe just have a quick look at rook ff7, just see whether it feels any better. Because that's at least that way I can block on b7. You know, that's what makes it attractive, really. Maybe that is much better in actual fact. Because if you go rook b8, I take on a7. You go rook b1 check, king g2, b3. I go rook h7, and then I go rook b7 at the last moment to block. So yeah.
So it's still looking good for white, but unclear whether it's actually winning.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, black could go a5 here. That would be somewhat irritating. I mean, rook a7, I go rook a3, and then I just hold on to that rook on. I mean, you know, rook takes the moves like rook h7 or something are really completely, you know. I mean, it's three passed pawns, but well, you do it one move earlier. You know, you wouldn't go rook a7. You'd go just rook h7 there. You know, you could do that. By take, I go rook a3. And I think black's probably better here because his pawns are much faster.
Yeah.
So maybe thinking about that, rook g4, rook e4, rook takes b3. Would it be sensible? Yeah, that's the point. Maybe after rook takes b3, we just take on a7, maybe.
Yeah.
And our threat now is just to go rook b7. That's the threat. This is much better.
That's simpler, isn't it?
Yeah. Then after rook b8, then we can do our rook g4 check, king f6, rook f4 check, king e6, rook ff7, and then we'll go rook b7 after. Yeah, that's much better. That's much better. Yeah. So I mean, maybe after rook e4, maybe black should play a5.
So rook e4, a5 straight away.
But I think we're going to be better here. I mean, we go rook g4 check, king f6, rook f4 check.
We could even go rook e5, couldn't we?
Yeah, but we're getting a bit. Then you're not going to have your rook g4 f4 anymore. So here, king e6, and then we can go rook df7 this time. I think rook b3. Rook 4f6 check, maybe. King e5. Oh, king e5, and then rook a6.
We could do f4.
Well, no, but you're just weakening your king e4 and f3. King f4 to f3. Rook a6.
Rook a6, did you say? Yeah.
We'll take the pawn with check then, and then.
Yeah, I see.
And we'll be able to play rook b5 as well. Yeah, no, I mean this must be winning. You know, it looks very good. Looks very good. This is. Going to be a good Mickey performance. Oh, Drunken Knight has drawn with.
Yeah. So this was this. That was his plan, I think, with his King's Indian exchange thing.
Yeah, and probably I think you know from that point of view, probably a clever little idea from White because yeah, again Brandon's a big attacking player really, and probably didn't enjoy these positions very much. Wouldn't have been a good idea against Keith really, but yeah. Oh, Alpha Arkle. Look at that. Look at what Keith did. Look at move 23.
Oh yeah, 23, h5, h4, and now it's sitting there at h3.
Wow, Keith. Actually, I think it's a very good idea. Looking at it.
So how did we get here actually? So because we were talking about that pin on
23 rook AB1. That's what we where we left it.
So here. Oh, we didn't think about h5, not at all.
No, terrible, isn't it? But actually a really nice idea. h5.
We really didn't think about that one. And he had a good think before playing that.
Yeah, no, this was really
nice,
good.
Nice, Keith.
Yeah, very nice. Knight takes b5, h4, bishop b1, rook 5, a6. Yeah, he just turns it. He turns it around really because you know, we were sort of saying, okay, we take this pawn on a3, and then queen takes b5 and all that. And here he's just said, okay, you take my pawn on b5, and now you have to worry about the pawn on a3. It's really very good. So bishop b4 was played by Checkmate Lot. Takes, and then h3.
So he's given up a pawn for this, but there's king side.
It's very decent counterplay. It's very decent counterplay. And after knight c3, yeah, rook to a3, queen b5. Yeah, this is the question now. It's getting quite crucial. But I think we're gonna give another pawn somehow. But how?
You want to give up another pawn?
Yeah, okay. No, definitely.
Let me find a way for you.
We're launched now, so you know, we just gotta.
Oh, but now Keith's gotta have to resist the urge of swapping queens, hasn't he?
Indeed. Maybe queen a7. Would that be an idea?
Yeah, could do. I was looking at queen f5 because then you've got the threat of taking.
Yeah, why goes queen takes d5 then? But maybe I'll just go queen f4 afterwards. Let's do queen f5. That's quite a nice move. Queen d5. Then we go queen f4. Let's do that one. Haha.
Okay. So the rook's on prise and the knight's on prise.
Yeah, and we got these queen e3 checky thingies, you know. So.
Oh, this is fun.
It's decent counterplay, you know. The only problem is that the knight isn't really on prise because queen a8 is possible. But we could throw in a knight c7 at some stage. So, but I mean,
what about knight e4 then? To
knight e4 is possible, but queen e3 check was what I was vaguely wondering about.
Okay. Oh. Okay. And so, let's say king h1.
Yeah, and I'll go maybe rook a1.
Yeah, and the back rank. When you've got your pawn to h3, that back rank can become.
I mean, this is very, you know.
I like this from Keith, I tell you.
And if rook dd1.
Yeah, then you've got queen e1. Oh, no, sorry. If rook bd1, you've got queen e1.
If rook bd1, we go rook 8 a2. Rook takes a1, hg mate.
Keith.
This is beautiful. This is really beautiful. I hope Keith can bring this off because this is an incredible concept. Really AlphaZero stuff, this. Alpha Arkle. Come on, Keith. Beautiful idea. Beautiful idea.
All right. So, okay. So we've gone queen f5 and queen d5 and queen f4. So, other defenses. Well, you can't just defend the knight because we can still do queen e3.
Yeah, I mean, rook e2 is possible here.
All right, knight c7.
Yeah, we can go queen c6, maybe. Well, no, queen c4, possibly. Oh, God, this is really super fraught. Queen c4. Queen c4, because we have to cover d4, I think. But, I mean, we go knight e6 or something, or, you know. With black, you're just like, you're never going to be worse here. I mean, rook a1 is also quite dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's great compensation. I mean, it really is nice. So, no, it's beautiful. Really beautiful play from Keith, I have to say. We haven't spotted it at all.
No.
H5, H4 was in the position, but it's beautiful. Just turns it around because, yeah, instead of worrying about your B5 pawn, you let white take it, and then, then white worries about the A3 pawn. It's really good, really, really good. So, well, let's see. I think he's
played.
He's played Queen F5. He played.
Yeah,
Excellent. Excellent. So,
right. Should we see Mark? We'll see Hebs.
Indeed.
Or do you want to stick with this one for a moment? Let's see Hebs, and then
we'll see Hebs. So, yeah. Looks like white's getting the pawn back there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, just going to be a draw, I think, this one.
Okay. All right. It was looking like a draw a bit earlier, wasn't it? And Hebs did generate some play.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay, he's counterattacking that H pawn. I suppose white just goes G3.
Yeah, you can just go G3. I mean, and after you go Rook B6, you're covering sort of, you're covering C6, so there's not going to be any checks along the long diagonal there. So, yeah, that's just
righty. Let's see Tactic Monster against Peshka the Great, where Peshka was building up this kingside attack, and did he do? So we were looking at.
He went F4 and then brought his knight into F5, which is quite a nice plan as well. F4. The idea of knight G5. Queen came back to E2. Bishop G5. C4. Not 100% sure about that one. Because you're really weakening the D4 square now. So Queen F3, Knight F5. Bishop C3 and black to play now. Black thinking. Yeah, I mean, knight h4 looks vaguely interesting. We go queen g4. I go. Yeah, you're wondering about going queen takes g4 and queen takes g4 and then f3. Go g3. I go knight g2. Then it's the big question: is my knight really doing anything there, or have I just committed suicide there? I'm not sure. Takes. Yeah, f3, g3, knight g2. Yeah, I don't think this knight is really... Yeah, no, but that's yeah. Then white's better in actual fact. Okay. So you've messed up your position really. No, I don't think this is going to be anything. I mean, I think white goes rook e4 simply, and you've got total control there. Well, have you? I guess so. I mean, the point is you can go take on d5, and go rook c8. But I suppose you can just go bishop c4 then, and I think you seem to be solid enough, really. I don't think there's anything particular you can do. So we need to look for something better than
do we have to take on g4?
No, but probably we should if we're going to do knight h4 and we don't want to take off the queens, maybe we should prepare it better because the bishop on e5 is attacked. So
let's bring one of our rooks in.
Possible. I was also looking at bishop h4 actually, which was vaguely impressing me. Yeah, just could you get threats of knight e3 and stuff like that maybe, or don't know. Well, no, probably not so great. Rook f6. Rook f6. Yeah, possible. Not sure that the rooks. It all looks a little bit. Just a bit worried that White's going to go rook a2 and get himself organized. Actually, that's probably why he played c4. You know, to go bishop c3 and then rook a2 and then play maybe something like d4 in the end or something. I'm just a bit worried. I'd just like to. I'd really like to get something something going before that happens, but I don't know. I could maybe just go. I mean, maybe if I just go queen d8 or something, or not with a rook on f6, but with after bishop c3. If I go, for example, queen d8, I'm not sure about it, but g6 or h5.
Can White take on c6?
Yeah, I want to go knight h4 then. That was the idea. I don't know whether it's any good. And queen g4. Yeah, f3, you go g3. Knight g2 again. It's not there at all. It's not a good idea. Back to bishop c3. Let's just have a look there. Queen f7, maybe I could try. Go knight h4. Just thought somehow, I don't understand. My pieces are always getting hit whenever I go knight h4, queen g4 hits one of my pieces. It's just, I haven't got. It's just not quite right. Everything, and it's all. I mean, it happens.
What if we go knight into d4?
No, I guess I take it. Yeah. And rook a2. I mean, I'm not better, not at all better there.
No.
So, in terms of winning chances, it's not really there. Yeah, I mean, I really need to take some control of the light squares on the king side. But g6 h5 looks really, really slow, and maybe I just need to be braver and just go queen f7.
Queen f7.
I mean, you can take on c6, but maybe I'll just even take on c6 then.
I was just thinking of your queen d8 line with that, and then doing something like.
Yeah, I want the same thing, but I want my queen on g6 really, so that I can. So if you go queen g4, I can. Yeah, but I'm just going to take. I'll maybe take on c6. I think maybe.
Take back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So queen c6, and then I'm hoping that I'm going to start having some stuff. Maybe knight h4.
Yeah, because now the queen can't come in.
You go queen e4. I don't know. I don't know. It's just not a good. It's just not a good attacking setup. What we've got here with black is my feeling. And it's just it's just really difficult to. You feel that white is so slow, and yet I'm not making. I'm not making any headway at all. So. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see what Peshka the Great comes up with there, because I'm not seeing it. Just in terms of. Okay.
They've done this swapping off queens business.
Yeah.
So they did this same thing.
Yeah. Okay, we did this, but then we're not playing for any advantage anymore. I mean, I think only white can be better now, because I mean you're going to go rook b1 and b5, and the pawn on b7 is really hard to defend.
All right, we need to check back in on checkmate a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so this was this. Where did we get to? Queen f5.
Yeah, rook e2 was played by. So we looked at knight c7 here, just with the idea of bringing the defending the rook on a8 and having a. Yeah. Yeah.
So Keith's done it that way.
Yeah, yeah. So queen e5, queen h6, and now knight e4. Yeah.
Well, we'd want to move our knight, I think. Knight d7, maybe. Otherwise, it gets taken with check.
Yeah, this is a bit. This is.
Blue grey haze for the other game. If you played rook g8 and g5 earlier, that was your earlier idea.
Oh dear me, this is not easy. White's defending very well here. Oh, Crumbaloonies, I don't really see anything here for black.
All right. What about rook a1?
Yeah, we go knight f6 check.
Pawn takes.
Queen g3 check.
Oh no. Well, we better go that way. This isn't going to be good, is it?
Yeah, but I go rook b1 simply. You know, it's just really.
Yeah.
It's really solid. Oh, Keith plays so beautifully, but this is somehow this has all gone a bit wrong. Let's have a look. Queen e5, knight e4. So knight e4, we just take back with a queen on there, don't we? Yeah. Rook a1.
Rook here.
Rook there.
Yeah, we're going to come around to the king side. We're going to swing it across that way.
Excellent. All right, let's go queen e8 check, I suppose.
That's probably put paid to my idea already.
Well, not really. Queen takes.
Okay, so we're going to do it.
I go queen f5.
Yeah.
Mickey Adams has won, actually.
Yes, we'll have a look at that in a second. Yeah. Do you want to look at that now?
Yeah. Yeah, for Keith, it just seems to have gone a little bit off there. But so what happened? Rook g4. Yeah, that's right. So it was actually what we thought. So rook b3, rook b3, queen e3, rook b3, and then rook takes a7. That was the one. Rook check. Oh, he took rook a takes f7. Okay, and then went a5. Rook b7. Yeah, he just played it very simply there, and then just grabbed the Grabbed it. Yeah, yeah. Typical Mickey. Very, very smooth realization there.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Well done, Mickey.
Well done, Mickey. Good, strong opening novelty there, and in a Catalan opening, and yeah, played it beautifully afterwards, actually. So well played.
Let's see how this one's going on.
Yeah, he played castles. Jonathan Payne.
He did. He got the castles. Oh, this was what we were looking at.
Yeah, it's sort of movie finds. I mean, he's a very, very aggressive, creative player there. So Queen B3, and now, but he's playing for a win here. You see, he's yeah. Oh God! Now we've got a queen. We've got all sorts of king and pawn endings.
Queen B7. So can't you take that?
I can.
How does that? How is it?
Then after King C7, King F4, that will probably be quite nasty for black.
Okay.
But I can play Queen C3 check. That's more interesting.
Queen C3 check. Aha. And then you're going to take a different way.
Well, yeah, you're going to take whilst you can still protect the. You know, if you go King G2, Queen C6, then that's just a win. If you go King F4, I think this is the amazing thing. And then the question is, are we? I mean, what is happening here? Because I mean, I think Queen C6. Well, we could even go Queen takes A7 if we're particularly bothered.
Yeah.
But although I think I'd be a little bit worried about the old my king really. But yeah, King G3 probably, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. But you know, it's sort of it's not even necessary because Queen H7, you've got F4 check. But what I'm thinking is Queen C3, King F4. Yeah, King F4. Because Queen takes C6, I'm not sure. I could take King E5. You see, King D7. And then go King F6. I don't know. It's probably all right. I mean, you go King D6. I go H4. Yeah, F4, I guess. H5. E5. Now, in King G7, you'd probably go King E6 and just sort of King takes King F7 and box me in. And then yeah. Probably shouldn't be taking that one off. But I think Queen takes A7 or whatever looks fine. But after King F4, do we have anything better, actually? Because it's your one moment of opportunity where you could actually... Well, we can go Queen C1 check. I mean, that's the simple thing, isn't it? Queen C1.
Yes.
And then after
King, you take the check. Yeah.
We go King G3.
Yeah.
And now I go... I could go Queen G1 check, couldn't I? I don't know whether you're going to be able to really improve things, but Queen G1 and then Queen H1. Yeah.
Then you take the check.
Yeah, that's risky as well because of that pawn. Yeah, I was wondering about Queen E4 check and just trying somehow to get to ensure that after Queen C6, Queen A7, that I've got a good check where I can win something, but I'm not sure about it. Because Queen A7 defends F2, that's the really annoying thing about it. So it's probably just a draw. It's probably just a draw, I think, still. But yeah, Jonathan's had the enormous aesthetic satisfaction of playing 25 castles queenside. So it's a very nice move.
What's happened here? This wasn't... That wasn't what we were expecting, was it?
Oh, Keith. Oh, Mark, rather. My goodness me.
Where did we get to?
We were... Loads of moves have been played. If we just... you've got to go up an awful lot.
Okay.
It was A6, so a little bit down. 33 A6, that's where we saw it. So Rook B8, Rook F4, G3, Rook E4, Rook B6, Rook E2, King G2, Rook C2, King F3, H5. So it's just equal. I mean, there's... Yeah. You sort of wonder why... yeah, why would you ever play this position on? Yeah, it's just a draw. So takes, things get exchanged. Bishop d3, bishop. Oh my goodness! And just a total blunder from Mark there. Allowing g6.
Oh, that's sad.
And then king h6, king g4, and you can't stop bishop f4 checkmate.
Oh, unlucky Hebs.
Unlucky Hebs. Well played, Paul.
Oh, well done, Paul.
What can you say? Yeah, it happens, but chess is hard sometimes. Hard luck, Mark. Right,
Tactic and Peshka.
Yeah, Peshka's trying to stir things up here. Because I think, you know, if White does nothing, then it's really it was really going to be just winning for White. So Peshka's stirring up trouble, but is it working? Not really, I think. Ooh, although that move's a little strange. Well, you can go bishop. The reason I'm a bit dubious. You can go bishop d2 to c3 to d4, which I'm maybe. I mean, White's going rook h1. That's the big idea. So this is a tense one. This is really tense. The really good thing that the Blacks managed to do is to really tie up the White Queen side. So b5 isn't really happening at the moment. Yeah. You know. But so I mean, let's say bishop d2 because that seems like quite natural. Oh, wait a minute. Do we have rook e5 here?
Oh, rook e5.
We're sort of wondering d6. We got rook takes c4. You got rook takes c4. I think probably good enough. D. You've got rook c8, which is what I was rather missing. So no, that's fine. Okay, you don't have that. Whew, thank goodness. So okay, so we go rook eh1 probably, I guess. And now, yeah, now we've got to watch out. I mean, we can go knight g6 to cover h8. But then I'm a bit afraid we'll go rook h5 in this position, and then rook to f5. Which seems to be, you know, I think you're really going to be able to cover that. So, yeah. But maybe you can just allow that. Maybe you could just go bishop c3. No. I mean before. So instead of knight g6, we just go bishop c3. And then, I mean, we've got g5 now. But we can always throw in a bishop d4 check. That's the nice thing about it. King f1, and then go rook f5. But yeah, this is going to get quite sharp. I mean, we could go. It's not such a big threat, this rook h8 check and knight takes c8. That's the funny thing about it. So, and g6, knight g6 covers h8. So,
yeah.
I mean, maybe should you instead of g5, should you maybe go something like bishop c1? Maybe could be bishops. You know, you go so after bishop c3.
Right.
Bishop c3 there. Bishop c1 to g5. That is actually a sort of a threat.
And
let's assume a check. Yeah, let's assume a check just to. I could go bishop e3 even actually. That's not so stupid.
Why is Danny Gormali not playing? I don't know why he's not.
I don't think he didn't play last year, did he either? So no. This is not looking good for Black, really. This is looking a bit ropey for Black. I mean, the one thing that you could do. This is really, I don't know. I get the bad feeling for Black for this. That.
All right. I'm going to check in a different game, actually, because we haven't seen at all Toshika Aurora. Let's see how she's doing. against
Right, against
Giachos.
Oh, so doing pretty well. This is
She's ahead on the clock. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, I mean, White's got a possibility of creating a passed A pawn, but the Black Bishop, Black King are very active. So I mean, actually, King C5 to B4 to A3 is quite a threat, actually. So oh, Gunslinger and McCarthy Stone have drawn. So
Okay.
well played, both. Lovely game there. Really interesting. Yeah, so I mean, Black's. I mean, King C5 you can stop with Knight C2, and that's probably, you know, kind of fine. So it should probably be a draw. This A4's not so silly either. But I think White should probably be. White probably should at some stage probably be happy with a draw, because I think takes King C5 here, threatening King B4. You know, you're going after the pawn. So yeah, excellent. Played immediately, instantly by Dashika, or by no,
Dashika.
Yeah.
Oh, so, is it?
Yeah, no, it must be, because it's.
Gerasimov
Jakos, so the names. So I mean, White could play Knight C2 here, but then I just go King B6, I think. Why are you going Knight D4 then? Is that your idea? Yeah, so maybe Knight C2 would be the best line here.
Knight C2. F5.
Yeah, well, I think White's going for the draw now. I think White's going to exchange off. Knight C2 was maybe still possible, but obviously it's quite risky. Probably Bishop. Yeah, I don't know. Not quite sure which move Black should play then. But here we should just take off. Maybe we didn't even need to, actually. Maybe we could even just go King B4 immediately. That was probably even better. But Bishop F6 here, and
it should be drawn now. Yeah,
it'll be a draw. It'll be a draw. Because it's wrong bishop for the rook's pawn anyway. So you just need to exchange off your knight for that, and you're fine.
I think we haven't seen this one either.
Adam Sikorsky against Jonathan Mackay. So it looks pretty good for White, really, because White seems to be the exchange up.
Indeed.
And Rook E1, yeah, this is looking quite powerful. I mean, Black's got some play, but no, this should be very good for.
Maybe we can C5 and march our pawns.
Yeah, I mean, C5 is probably going to be played now, actually, come to think of it. But we can probably just go back to D2. Well, yeah, and then go Queen H6. And Black's going to be living very dangerously. Let's put it that way. And but I don't know. I mean, those pawns. Yeah, those pawns are. If you go C5. It still feels like you've got some chances, you know, because your pawns are so dangerous. But yeah, and Queen D2. So now I need to. The question is, do I need to go Queen D6 here? Oh no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Queen D6. I've got Rook takes C6. Ooh, no, I haven't got Rook E6. Okay. So I could go Queen D6 here. This is a move. So Queen H6, I go Queen F8. That's the idea. And if Rook takes C6, which I thought worked. No, before. So instead of Queen H6. So if I go Rook takes C6 here, because FE Queen H6 looks winning, but you go Queen takes C6 here. Queen H6, Queen E2 check.
Queen E2 check.
And King G1, Queen E3 check is the annoying point. So so you can actually do that. So Queen D6 is actually possible there. Because I do think you need to. I mean, I think if you allow Queen H6, I mean, I suppose after Queen D2, you could even go King H7, actually. That would also not be so crazy.
Yeah.
You could also go King H7 here. Not so. It's not over yet. Not over yet by any means. So there could be. Could still be a few twists in this tale. Sorry, got bishop c1 here. Sorry, that would be annoying. Bishop c1 to go queen h6. Yeah. So I mean, basically, after queen d2, the threat is queen h6, which is rather unpleasant because the bishop on g6 hangs. So probably you need to go
queen d6 line.
Probably queen d6 is probably the move, probably the safest move, I think. But you could go just rook f2. You know, that's the problem. And then you're again threatening rook takes c6 here, because then black doesn't have the queen e2 stuff.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I don't know. This must be good for white. I mean, just looking at it optically. But black does have some chances with those pawns. And, you know, if white doesn't find some key ideas, then could be chances. But I think white should just be winning in principle.
Okay. Oh, that's where they got to.
Whoa! Queen a5 was played. Wow. That was not a bad idea. Queen a5, just wanting to swap off the queens.
Yeah.
I had not seen that one coming. Queen b7 is not bad either, because rook takes c6 is going to come in. King h3.
And that's where we are.
Now we need something clever. Well, I mean, bishop f5 check is quite clever, actually. Rook f5, queen e1 would be nice if we could do it, but unfortunately there's queen a8. So that's not going to work. And we've got a little threat of rook takes e6 here, unfortunately. Yeah, there we take on e6 now, I think.
Yeah, it can't be recaptured.
No. And yeah, that must be good for white now. Rook takes c6.
All right, let's check back in on Checkmate-a-Lot and Keith.
All right. Oh, there's still danger. Keith's done quite well here. 2 pawns down, but a lot of danger. Right.
So, queen h3.
Possible. I was just wondering about knight h3, actually.
Oh, and let me think. Wondering about rook e2.
Rook e2. Yeah, we'll take it. Queen h3, king f2. Oh, yeah. Oh. Well, that could be just a draw, actually. That is just a draw, I think. That is actually just drawn. H1. It is just a draw, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that's just a draw. Rook e2. Good spots. So the question is, do we have anything better? Well, that's a little bit of a luxury. Yeah, queen h3, king f2. I don't see a real follow-up. But I think I was just wondering about knight h3 with a threat of knight f4 or knight e6. You know, one of those two. But okay, just better show the variation, hadn't we? Rook e2. King f2, queen f3 check. So king g1 allows knight h3 mate, and king e1 we go queen h1 simply. And you can't go king d2 because of knight f3, so you've got to go king f2 and then we go queen f3 check. So that's just a draw there. So that's already good. And then let's just have a look to see whether we've got something better than rook takes e2 check.
Yeah. So, okay, so this one, this, what?
Yeah. I'm guessing knight g1 here.
And we can win a knight, can't we?
Oh, got queen f1. Sorry. Queen f1 straight away is also just winning. So that's a horrible move. This is pretty nifty, rook a1.
Thank you, B22C3 Sicilian. B22 C3 Sicilian.
That's a really good move, Natasha. That's really good. That's awesome. That's actually just mating.
Mm. Maybe they move your rook.
No, there's just rook f1 or there's just rook f1. There's just rook f1 takes f3. So now this one looks like it's completely winning almost. Well, I mean, you could go rook c3 maybe. That's one possibility, I suppose. But I think then we just need a good. The idea being that if queen f1, you're going to go to g3 and try and hold on that way. So let's just try and go rook f1 check.
Yeah, you go that way.
Okay, let's just do it simple. Queen f3 and knight e4 check. End of story. Wowsies. Keith's played, I think, actually.
Oh, what did you do?
Queen h3 check, king f2, queen h4 is repeating. Oh no.
Oh no.
No, I think rook.
That's okay, isn't it?
Yes.
If I can see it, he'll see it.
But I think queen g3 is possible.
Oh.
Now. Oh. Yeah, I think your rook a1. I think your rook a1 was just winning, Natasha. That's an excellent move. Really excellent move. Or did you? Oh, wait a minute. No. It's an excellent move. It's just winning on the spot.
So we can now go knight h3. Because if he goes king g2, we've got knight f4.
That is true. But I think after knight h3, we'll go king f1, maybe.
And then we try rook a1 again.
Yeah, we go king g2.
Hmm.
Oh, my goodness me. Now, Keith's gone queen h6 there. So, I mean, still plenty of play. We've got knight h3 check now is threatened, winning the rook on e3. King there. And we're still threatening knight h3 to f4, so it's still pretty tough. And Peter's very short on time. That's his big problem there. But h4 maybe would be sensible just to do that. But then we go knight e6, and we still got our threats, but it's starting to get a little. Ooh, b5. Knight e6, wasn't knight h3 better? So Keith trying to play as fast as possible, I think, here.
Yeah.
D5.
I was wondering if he was trying to line up for a rook e2 for some. If there's something there, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe queen d2, but then we probably get mated, don't we?
Well, yeah, we're going to get checked, aren't we? That's the problem, on h4 and stuff. So knight f4. But do we have a threat here? That's the real worry. Well, does white have a threat? I mean, it's all kind of queen b6 check is the idea. That's the idea. Queen b6 is happening. That's the big. Okay, queen b6 now is very strong. I think queen b6 is winning.
Then we win the knight, don't we?
We win more. We win more. Because I mean, queen b6 check, king f1, rook a1, mate. That's winning. And rook e3, I've got rook takes c2 check, so it's carnage. But I think,
let me think. Saying it looks worse for Keith. I don't think so. But
no, I think this is really good. This is Keith. I think Keith's played a brilliant. Yes, he's played it. He's played it. Yeah, I have to say that. Well, I mean, this is an early contender for game of the tournament. It's not perfect, but I think in terms of imagination and and bravery and everything, it's really an amazing game. Okay, so
So how do we win now?
I'm pretty sure we go rook a1. Oh God, is black escaping? Checkmate a lot. I think no, we take on. Oh no, we don't take on e2 because there's queen h4 check. Oh wow.
All right. Well, we got at least queen a5, haven't we?
Yeah, no, we've always got queen a. Well, queen a5 is. Yeah, queen a5 is always working. That's true. Because the king, then king f2. I'm just wondering whether if we go queen a7, whether that helps in some way. You know, just to. Oh, it probably does actually. Yeah, probably queen a5 check, king f2, queen a7, king e1, rook a2. Rook a1 check rather, king d2, queen a2, king e3, knight d5. Peter Finn's, my goodness, checkmate lots king is going to go all the way up the board like that.
All right, what about rook a1 straight away?
Yeah, we go king d2. I was thinking about
queen a5 then.
Yeah, king e3.
Oh, sorry, queen a5 just straight away, I mean.
Oh, queen f5 straight away, king f2. Yeah.
And then you're saying queen a7.
Yeah. And then king e1, rook a1. And then the idea is that I get king d2, queen a2 check. That was the idea, you know, I thought.
Oh, actually, do you need a board for? They're going to play a move. That's the only thing. I don't want to miss their moves.
Yeah, I didn't need a board ready to do it, but it doesn't matter. It's we can just stay with this. I mean, the line I'm looking at is where the king goes up to d4. We get queen d2 check. I must have a fork somewhere.
He's done
okay,
this.
Yeah, he's done it immediately. That's not. I mean, queen a5 check is kind of interesting. He could also repeat simply. So, I mean, frankly, I think whether this is a win or a draw, I think this is still a contender for best game of the tournament because it's incredible. And look at it. You know, Peter Finn's defense is amazing as well. So king e3 now is the only move, I think.
And then knight d5 check.
Yeah, king d4. I wasn't 100% sure. I wasn't 100% sure how that's working.
Okay. Rook d2 maybe. Rook d1 even is what I meant.
Yeah, king e5. Queen c7 check maybe.
c7.
King f5.
G6.
King d5. Yeah, I don't know. I must be winning. It must be winning. But it's just that the rook and the queen are cutting across, you know. But then we'll have queen d8 check or something. Yeah, this must be winning. Rook d1 check is going to be winning. King e5, queen c7. King f5. We can go g6 because king g4 will have f5 check. Then king g5, we've got queen d8 check or something. Yeah, this must be winning. This must be winning. What a game. What a game. Really impressive, this. Really impressive win.
White one, king of the hill.
Indeed. Yes, it's true. Ah. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, Keith's played queen c7. I think you've really got to say that I think Keith's tactics have improved enormously during the lockdown. He's been playing all this you know, blitz and everything, and I think you really do see the results of that. Really, you know, I think I don't think that Keith before the lockdown could have played a game like this, to be honest. But I think it's just really impressive. Really amazing game. Yeah.
So king g5, we're going queen d8, I guess.
Yeah, queen d8 is the move. And then king g4, f5.
We've got f5.
Yeah, it's the simplest. I don't know whether there's something better.
Or knight f6.
Yeah,
knight.
yeah. I think That's right. But I think we'll just take the whole rook, I think. And Keith played that very quickly. So yeah, he's. But this, I'm sure this is all the tactics training that Keith has had with his with the quarantine league and all of these things. I think because I think his tactics have improved enormously.
Very nice game, yeah.
This is a real. I think Keith can really, yeah. And well played, checkmate lot. Superb defense, really tough, hanging in there. But I have to say, huge plaudits to Keith there. Really, really fantastic game. And I'm really full of admiration for how Keith played there. So brilliant stuff. Oh,
okay,
Peshka the Great has won.
Yes. Do we see how that went?
Wow, because that was quite. It looks like Aryan got quite short of time there. So let's just go back to where it was. A few moves more. Back. So G3, King F2 was where we left it. 35, King F2. Yeah. So King F7, Bishop C1. Okay, we'd looked at that. Yeah. Takes. Knight G6, King E3, and E4. Yeah, I thought that this idea was coming. Just because you've loosened up this bishop on C4. So D4, King F8. And this is a really complicated position. That the knight on G6 doesn't have a great deal of room, but it's not very easy for white to play either. So Rook H1, F2, Bishop E2, Rook F5, Bishop H5, G4. King J8. I mean, White's trying to keep control here and almost managing, but not quite, simply. And after here, the knight escapes, and and then it's going to get really difficult. Rook takes G4. Yeah, and allowing this was. Yeah, the knight and the rook just get coordinated really well, don't they? Rook D4, and Rook D2. Yeah. Crazy game. A great game from both players there. I think White definitely had the chances, but Black was obviously taking a lot of risks trying to make stuff happen. So really nice.
All righty, just one game left.
Indeed. Rook F5. Oh, this has turned right around, hasn't it?
So wouldn't we just go Rook E3, whatever it is?
Yeah, I'm wondering actually. King E3 takes King F3, King F6, King F4. That might not be winning, actually, I think. But I think Rook G4 check, King E5, Rook H4 will be winning, I think. Or very good chance of, because your king's nastily cut off. I think your king's nastily cut off along the... I mean, if the king's on G2 or something, or H2, the Rook F and H is a draw. But if you're right up the board on E5, then I think...
Yeah, I was looking at that also. And your Rook E3 check.
Yeah, but don't we just take it, takes, and then King F3?
Oh, maybe, let's see. King F3. So I suppose we just take. Is this a draw?
King E5. I don't know. I'm sort of wondering a bit. Well, there I go King E6. And then you go King G7. But then I go King F5, F7, King E4, King E6, King F4, F5, King G5, takes.
Or maybe not that.
Well, actually, amazingly enough, King G6. No, this is probably winning, isn't it? King G4, King E4. I thought you had a subtle way of doing it, but you don't really. You're just going to get you are just going to get hit by the old checky, and Queen H1 and takes the Queen. So yeah, no, this is actually this is probably going to be winning then. So
yeah, and Black picks up the Queen at the end. All right, so Rook E3 then that was.
Yeah.
So do we have to go into that? King G5 instead of King F4. Says Wilsonia. So here. We're saying here. Is this just a win?
I don't know. I'm not sure. King F. So you went F6. I don't know whether that's the best. Is King G7 more subtle? I don't know. But F6, I could maybe go. Oh, F6, I go King F4 maybe. Yeah, F6, maybe I go King F4. I have
F5.
F5. Oh, that's even better.
King
that
F4.
Is even better.
Yeah,
King F6. That's even better. That's even better. King F6, King E5, F6. So maybe I should go King E4 then, instead of King E5. After King G6, I go King E4. It's one of those corresponding square ending thingies, where. So if F6, I go King F4, and then F5, I go King E5.
Yeah. So I don't want to do that. I want to go here.
Okay,
but then I'm just getting a draw. So what was it here?
King E5. Now. Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I've got to stay on the. But I don't know whether that's. Oh, they finished. Actually, they finished. So.
Did they draw?
No, they lost. White lost. So.
Okay, I've now lost track of which game it was.
Testarossa, I think, against Dandy Tastic. Yeah, this happened actually.
So did they go Rook E3?
Well, no, when Rook G4, Rook F4, which was kind of similar. Takes, King F6, King E4, King E6, King F4, F6.
We got that.
This was trivial, but yeah, you got it in the wrong way really, because when you went Rook F3, you were managing to meet King F6 with King F4, whereas here you got it with the king already on F4, so it was actually this was actually a different ending. This is cool. Just winning.
All right, good. Well, that's all the games finished, so we had some very nice games today. Mickey Adams with his novelty in the opening against Harry Grieve. We had also this remarkable game, checkmate a lot against Keith Arkle, where Keith launched his H1 high checkmate a lot. We were following your game. It swung a bit. Keith played very well though, didn't he? You did too. Yeah, and this very interesting game also, Tactic Monster against Peshka the Great, where Black was kings to play.
And Gunslinger against McCarthy Stone was also.
Well, that was a very interesting one as well, with a Castles Long suddenly from McCarthy Stone to save everything.
Yeah, I mean we've had some really great games today, actually, really complex and really interesting. So yeah, well done everyone.
All right, everyone. So just to say, there is the Junior Bullet Tournament on tomorrow at 10 a.m. So we'll be covering that one. It'll be very fast and furious. And then the championship resumes at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Okay. So thank you, everybody, very much for watching.